Hi everyone, I'm Holly with Missouri River Soap, and today I'm making a batch called Flannel Amber, and this fragrance is just a really warm and comforting fragrance. I have a little note over here on the side so that you could get a better idea of the scent. The top notes are green and fresh, and the middle notes have spice and patchouli, and then the bottom notes have amber and mahogany and musk and sandalwood and vanilla. It's a little bit different than what I make, but I smelled one part of the fragrance blend and I knew I just had to do it. So I have mixed in a little bit of another fragrance so that I'd have enough, because I need more than a pound for this size of a batch. But the majority of the scent is just a very nice, warm amber scent. And I just thought it fit perfect for fall and holiday season. And today is October 1st that I'm making it. It feels perfect. It just feels like the right thing to do for today. So I have my huge pot. I did upgrade to a 22 or 20 quart pot so that I have a little bit more space. That way I can get a little bit better angle when I pour. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the coconut milk. I like to keep my soaps vegan for the most part. I do use animal milks on occasion, but for the most part I do use the coconut. I'm going to hope that it stays in focus. It's been having a hard time with this stainless steel pot. To add in just a little bit of milk. I'm not a full milk soaper. I've made plenty of full milk soaps, but I'm not a full milk soaper, and so I just like to add just little bits of milk to these batches. I just love how it turns out. I had planned to make this soap yesterday, so it did end up with a little bit more lilac than I'm used to, so I thought I would just go ahead and strain it. Might take an extra moment or two. Sometimes when I'm working in these really big batches, the stick blender isn't powerful enough to really work on, I don't know, bits and bobs is kind of what I call it sometimes. And so I need to be a little bit more cautious. If I was working a smaller batch, I'd probably just let it all go in, just because the stick blender would be able to really work through it. I want to just emulsify this so that I can pour some off into some other pitchers. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This pot is 45 pounds with the soap in it. So it is a little bit awkward. Even though I'm right-handed, I have some shoulder issues right now, and I know that I can't handle this weight, so I have to use my left hand to do the heavy lifting. So let's see how let's see how this goes. That went pretty well. And that's because I did use my left arm to do the lifting, and it's the strong one at this point. I do think I want just a bit more. That's pretty close though, it really is. I do want to give it just a little bit more. I like this new pot because the handles are really nice and wide. Okay, so into these little containers, I have a copper and a gold mixed. This fragrance is likely to discolor just a little bit. Most of the reviews said it was a golden, kind of a golden tan. And so I planned my colors accordingly. I was kind of thinking of a green flannel. Flannel's always so cozy. And then into this big pot, I have a green mica. It's kind of has some blue to it. I'm hoping it doesn't lighten up, and I figure with the discoloration that it'll give it a little bit of a yellow tone. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So I'm just going to give these a stir at first, and then right before I'm ready to start pouring, I'm going to add the fragrance and then stick blend. So it's nice and thin. There's a little bit of texture still to it, but it looks like that's smoothing out quite a bit with just the stirring. So that's a gorgeous color. That's right, I was going to use a little spatula now. Ooh, that's pretty right there. Just like stop right there. Isn't that gorgeous? You know, I'm not sure I've ever done an in the pot swirl with a creamy base and then a really kind of dark green. Ooh, this green is perfect. Savage Garden from Nurture Soap Supplies. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Nice. Everything is going splendidly right now. I'm a happy camper. This is all very campy colors too. Alright, so I am a hint nervous here. I'm gonna go for it. Now I did say it played really nice, but anytime I mix fragrances, I know that's out the window. Alright, so I'm just gonna stir it in and see what happens. I'm planning on this being an in the pot swirl, so I don't want it to be too thin. Oh, it looks like it's behaving nicely so far. This is charcoal with a little bit of white mica. And then this one was gold shimmer with a little bit of copper. Okay, so in with the main part here. I know I'm a little bit off to the side, but I think this is going to work for me for right at the moment. Here we go, back in business. Kind of lightened it up a little bit. I love this. Okay, so I feel like I'm using these big spatulas that I have to use another spatula just to clean off the big spatula. It's all nice and all, but can waste some time sometimes. Okay, I'm going to go over here to this copper and give it a light blend. It was a hint more than light, but it's doing quite nicely. Now over here, I probably should have gone into there next. Nice. Wow, this is an easygoing fragrance. we're doing okay, so I'm going to clean up my stick blender and come right back. It's tracing quite nicely at the moment, but it's still a little bit thin. These smaller containers are getting just a little bit thicker because they had plenty of blending, really. So I'm going to go ahead and pour them. And so I'm just going to pick a couple of spots. And I did want to leave just a little bit for the top. Go with that. I will end up with quite a bit of soap when I scrape all the edges down. So I think I'm gonna, add just a little bit more. So I don't want to be left with so much soap for the top that I don't end up using it all. Now I am going to give it a quick just loop around there. Alright, so I'm just gonna try to grab under this guy. There we go. Oh, I like that. This was exactly what I was thinking about. My husband actually named this one, came up with the colors. I just wanted it to be super subtle, so this is working out perfect. Might block you here a little bit. I just want to get this soap in. This is so nice. Yesterday I soaped my cranberry mint and it accelerated so badly. It was a bit of a disaster. I think it turned out. It's still in the mold. But it was a wee bit of a disaster. My son was upstairs working while I made soap the other day, and he was like, oh, so that's what that sound is. He thought I was mad. Like, well, I don't make it a habit of throwing things, so. Anyway, it was funny. They thought I was angry that I was up here making so much noise. Well, this did turn out a little bit thicker than I was anticipating on this part here. Come back for those ends. Oh dear. But it's gonna be okay. I'm not going according to the rows at all. I'm just kind of getting a stripe going. I'm glad I did not leave any more. Hold any more back than this. Oh, you go that way. I know some soap makers are just super precise. That's not me. And as soon as I learned that and accepted that, things went a lot better for me. That's just not my personality to have these super perfect lines and super perfect swirls. But it's kind of like when before you have kids and you have your patio doors and your windows, you know, and boy, any type of dirt or I don't know, smear on the window, and you're there with your Windex, and after you've had kids and toddlers and babies for a certain amount of time, you don't even see it anymore. At least I didn't. It got cleaned on clean day. I used to be a fairly obsessive vacuumer and floor cleaner, and I'm still particular about it, but certainly not like my pre-children days. I'm going to use a little thicker spoon here just because it's getting fairly thick. Ooh, that's a little extra thick, isn't it? I think it's working. It's not quite the design I was going for, but I like it actually. That's giving a cool look. I'm veering. Oh, I like this. It's not the fine detail that I thought I was going to have originally in my plans, but this is cool. This is cool. Whoops. Okay, so as you can tell, it's a little thick here, but I think I can smack that down and it'll be fine. Ooh, you are annoying. Stop it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to smack it down. Okay, look at that. Ha! Isn't that so cool? I love it. So clean off these edges. Oh, this is just, whoops, just perfect. Can't remember, did I get this side? Yeah, I did. Okay, so look at this. This just turned out so cool and it smells amazing. I'm really excited to cut into this one. All right, guys, I'll see you back here for the cut. It is time to cut this flannel and amber soap. And I am quite pleased with how this batch turned out. It ended up getting just a little bit darker, I think. It smells amazing, like, I don't know, addictive amazing to me. I feel like it's just so warm and it's kind of woodsy and it's got the amber notes and I'm just so pleased with it. I think it's a nice, different offering to all of the just, you know, just sweet and bright fragrances and minty and everything, to have something just kind of warm and cozy. I love this one. So I'm going to cut it so I have a little end piece. And yeah, so you can see where it's doing some discoloration. It was quite a bit brighter, but it has darkened. There is some vanillin in the fragrance, so that's to be expected. This top ended up a little bit more, I don't know, kind of army green or something, I guess. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Oh wow, look at that side, it has such a big section of the gold. More of an amber color, and I'm glad that I went with it like that. This one has been cut for a while, so you can see that it has all discolored there in the middle. And that just happens when a fragrance has vanillin in it, and it will start discoloring once it's exposed to the air. So you can see the outside has been and the inside has not. So it is starting its discoloration, and I think it looks great. Now, I've had a couple of fragrances do this, where the top kind of yellows a little bit. My Wild Berry Blizzard is super bad about that, and I forget pretty much every year, and we ended up cutting the tops off again this year of that batch. It's like, I don't know, it's the initial exposure to the air ends up being just a little bit yellowy on the top. And so this one has kind of done that also a little bit in addition to its discoloration. But I'm good with it. This soap turned out just exactly as I'd hoped. That's a nice swirl in that one. I'm quite excited I have some new wooden trays for pictures. I'm just so excited to get a picture of this one on those just dark and earthy trays. This kind of reminds me of Missouri, actually. We have so much cedar and yellowy colors in the fall. We don't tend to have a lot of red or anything like that where we live. So this is just kind of cedary and woodsy, you know. We've lost all our leaves here, even though it's early when I'm filming this. We're just ahead this year because of the drought. Smells so good. I've had recommendations to do like frankincense and myrrh. I did it again. I always do this to myself. I lose my spot to let my loaf overhang. Anyway, I've never like really smelled frankincense and myrrh, so I don't know what to expect from that. So I can't say. I did get in some samples, and I can't really say whether something is super good or not. So I don't know. I didn't end up making any frankincense and myrrh soap this year. I just didn't feel like my options were worth putting it into a full batch if I had ordered the fragrance. Ooh, that's cool. Isn't that cool? Nice. It smells so good. Just smells so good. So this is a little bit of a smaller batch. Some of my batches this year were a little bit on the larger side, around 78, 79 bars. And this one is going to be more like 65, I think. 65, 66. I suspect this one won't sell as well just because of the colors and the fragrance. But I know how amazing it is. Yes, I do. So I'm just going to cut this last little bit. More of these chunks are sticking just because it's a little bit harder because the batch has been made for a while. So it tends to chunk up and throw those bits a little bit more. So now I can go back into here. I like that. Look at that one. That's cool. I'm super excited to use this one once it's finished curing. Okay, well, I feel like this is going to make me twitchy. I don't think you you can't see this. I'll show you. To move everything to the side. Look at this. 1 bar. I need 1 more bar. I just need it there. And, oh, I figured it out. I already sent a bar to my uncle in Montana. That's why it's missing. I put a note on it, said, don't use it yet. It's got a cure. But he had ordered, and so I sent him one of these already. And I think he's going to love this one. So here we have the Flannel and Amber soap. And I love this scent. I am going to have to put those samples. I have another tray going on with samples, but it looks like it's just this one tray. I'm going to put back on the curing rack until it gets cleaned up. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.